Hello, welcome to another episode of Mole in the Morning in the Gaming News here on my channel. My name is ChaosMole, and today we have the gaming news for November 10th, 2022. That is Thursday. At least my calendar is saying that. And we have some gaming news and trailers for you again. First things first, let's start to talk a little bit about Twitter. I know that some people might say, oh, really? Social media is now gaming? Like, eh. Well, there is a lot of gaming on Twitter. If you are not on Twitter, don't get me wrong, you're not missing anything. But there is a lot of gaming on Twitter. That is the reality of things. And there are also a lot of content creators like me on Twitter. And I will also be honest, I never used Twitter in my life before I became a content creator. And I would probably leave Twitter the moment I'm not a content creator anymore. Like, I know that sounds a little bit harsh, but that is exactly what I would do. But the reality is also that Twitter is an amazing tool for content creators of any sort to have contacts. It is easy to just reach out to somebody and be like, hey, how's it going? Let's talk, right? Thanks to the algorithm, you sometimes find the people you really needed. Like, it's kind of weird how that works. And when I'm just looking at my Twitter account, the amount of PR developers, influence managers I have on my Twitter profile just to reach out to is crazy. I have more people on my Twitter account than I have on my emails. And a lot of the conversations I have, even like asking for keys of a new game I want to showcase on my channel, is going through Twitter, believe it or not. I know not everyone likes that, and sorry for all the influence managers who are watching this and go like, yeah, and I told you already 20 times you were supposed to send me an email. Yes, I know, I'm sorry. I'm bad. I know that. Please don't hate me. But the reality is, Twitter is important for a lot of people, and Twitter is on fire. If you have missed it, Elon Musk has bought Twitter for 44 billion US dollars, a company who barely makes, what was it, 250 million per year. That's a steep bid, Alan. But the news we have is that the verification system, Twitter Blue, basically did go live yesterday. Well, it did only go live in the USA, Canada, England, and some other English-speaking countries, and it only did go live on iOS. So if you're an Android user or you are in a country which is not predominantly English speakers, then you are out of luck. But the problem is, things started to get out of hand. And they did go out of hand quickly, because you've probably guessed it, a lot of people created fake accounts. And they started to post some really crazy stuff. Like, it was bad. And you might say, oh, well, oh, that's funny. It's just a little bit of trolling, you know. Let me give you an example here, by the way. This was by Nintendo of America, which, of course, is, if you're looking at the ad, you realize very quickly, no, it's not. But you see this, and the first thing you think is, whoa, what's going on there? Okay, that's funny. That's hilarious. The Mario X Saints Row collab. Yeah, by the way, this is still one of the. I know that some people will go worked up on this, and they're like, "Oh my god, how can you show this? Oh, this is wow." Look, this account, which is now suspended, was also posting some let's just say Mario and Peach going at it. As a verified account, this would show up under the verified tab, and the Twitter system would treat it as safe because it is from a verified account. And everyone could see that. Yes, even the kids. Great. And again, I know that a lot of you might probably just think, it's just a jest, Mole. Like, come on, this is just funny. Like, take a laugh out of this. No, it isn't funny. Because here's the problem. You might see this purely from your perspective, and as a person, I'm seeing this and I'm getting a laugh out of this. Because I'm like, yeah, this is exactly what would happen, right? As a professional and somebody who has been working in an environment and has been analyzing companies, there is no fun here. This is a huge issue for companies. It is a major issue because companies are not putting up with this bullshit.
Yeah, they can just DMCA them. I mean, you said yourself, this account was already banned, right?
Yeah, after like 3 hours. Too much time on the internet. But the reality is, you know what companies do instead? They're not taking care of this. They don't have the time for this. They will not hire people who will just scan Twitter the whole time and report accounts which are impersonating them and doing this bullshit. They would do the following. They would take their things, pack, and leave, and they would take all their money with them. And if enough companies are doing this, you can kiss this platform goodbye. That's the reality. Big corporates do not have the time for this bullshit. Why do you think verification was put in place in the first place on Twitter? Because there were too many fake accounts without checkmark. Like, we had fake accounts without checkmark for years pulling this bullshit, and some people were believing it. And you know what? For those companies, it was a plausible deniability just to say, isn't us. Look at the checkmark. Check the checkmark, folks. Not our fault. You can't keep us liable for this if you're not checking if the account has a checkmark. That dingus is on you. Now that everyone has a checkmark, that plausible deniability is falling apart, and companies will not have that. Like, none. And we know that advertisers, because advertisers have announced it themselves, or the companies who are doing the advertisement for the big corporations have already announced that they have at least all paused their advertisement on Twitter. Like Nintendo of America, by the way. Isn't that funny? And if this is not being get under control, this company is going quick out of business. Then you can say checkmark. And you know what? It would be a disaster. And I would be very egomaniac here in this moment and say it would be a big disaster for me. And I'm pretty sure that a lot of people feel the same who are using Twitter as a business tool. Shit, I don't even know how I could reach half of the people somewhere else I'm connected with through Twitter. And that is from a pure business perspective. Like, half of the people I am communicating with, I have only ever communicated on Twitter through. Like, I don't even know how to reach out to them any other place. So if this company goes under, if this site goes under, I think this would be one of the biggest setbacks since Mixer died. For me personally. And I will be honest, I'm not sure if I can take another mixer dev in my life when it comes to content creation. So, Alan, listen. I know you're not the smartest bulb, but or the brightest bulb, not smartest, but also not the smartest. Get your shit together and get it together fast. I mean, at least it seems like somebody has been stealing away his Twitter account, like somebody of his close people or whatever, because after he did post the Nazi picture, yes, he did that. And with that, by the way, Elon Musk for me is just the shit in the gutter. Like using a Nazi imagery is yeah. Oh well. But at least after that incident, he stopped tweeting. So somebody probably came in and was like, Alan, what are you doing there? But Ma, I'm trying to be an edgelord. Get your business in order. So I'm hoping that's what happened, and is probably slowly getting aware of the cause of its own actions and is trying to take care of it. Or, which wouldn't surprise me, he probably just took a vacation somewhere in the Bahamas. I mean, I know. I mean, you can do that. But no, for real. Like, Twitter is now headless. They have fired too many people. They have lost control over it. And maybe they are wrestling it back. I hope they are wrestling it back. Because if they don't, then in 3 months we will have another news here on my channel where I will talk about the death of Twitter. And I don't really want that to happen. I really don't. I would like to avoid that. Thank you. Quick update regarding the Mick Gordon news from yesterday. If you have missed it, I made an extra video on my YouTube channel, which does really well. Like the click-through rates are through the roof, and a lot of people are watching it. And yeah. So if you have missed it, quick TLDR, Mick Gordon, the creator of a lot of amazing soundtracks, but probably mostly known for Doom, has issued a statement. And I kid you not, it is an hour-long read. And I took the time yesterday to read through all of it. I took a whole hour of my day to read through this. All of it. And it was a tough read. This was one of the toughest reads I think I ever have done in the gaming industry. And I can only say, man, this industry has to get their shit together, especially with managers in place who are just... Yes, this is still the same article, by the way. This is still the statement of him about all of this. And he brought receipts. It's not just a statement, he brought receipts. It was hurtful. And I was just reading this, right? I wasn't the person who was affected by this. It was Mick Gordon who was affected by this. And if you don't know what happened, well, about 2 years ago, Mick Gordon would of course come back to do the Doom Eternal OST, and it seems like ID Software and especially the manager, what's his name? I'm bad with names. Marty, yes, Marty Stratton, had the audacity to basically not only steal money from him and make him not be paid for the work he put out there, but also throw him under the bus, calling him the issue in all of this, and basically screaming, thief, thief, thief. Then reaching out to him to pay him a 6-figure hush money that he would not speak about this, and then destroying Mick Gordon's reputation. I don't know Marty Stratton's, but I can say that he's a douche, and he deserves to be fired on the spot and never find any work in the industry ever again. Like, not only does he still got not paid in full for his Doom Eternal OST, he was then being thrown under the bus as the sole reason why a standalone OST of Doom Eternal never happened. Plus, they did send out an official statement to burn down his reputation in the process. And I cannot state this enough how fucked up this is. And you might say, well, this is word against word, right? No. What Marty put out was just his word. Marty didn't prove anything. Marty was just telling, oh, we are in ID Software innocent, especially me, folks. Me is innocent. But Mick Gordon, again, he was bringing receipts. He had a lot of pictures. And this, if you're reading through this, it also looks like a lawyer has vetted this. This was not posted by just Mick Gordon. This was basically posted by a lawyer. And the lawyer was going through this and was preparing this. Like, it's an absolute disaster. How they treated him from the beginning. And pay issues. Then there was the issue that they basically contractually, that is the other thing. Contractually, it's in the contract that he gets paid for everything. So they requested, I think it was, 30 songs? And he delivered 60. Or, well, not really, because they requested 30 songs. He sent them 30 songs, and he also sent him tons of demo tapes and just ideas he wanted to maybe utilize in one of their songs. And ID Software was just taking the demo tapes and those song examples and incorporated them into their games as actual music pieces. And per contract, that would have been okay if they would have paid him, which they didn't. So half of the song you were hearing in Doom Eternal, Mick Gordon never got paid for. Because they were like, well, technically it's not a music piece, it's a demo tape we utilized, but it's still not a music piece, Mick. No. You bastards, no. Oh yeah, this was also Very interesting. They announced that Doom Eternal will release on November 22nd. A special collector's edition was also announced, which will include Mick Gordon's original Doom Eternal soundtrack as an OST. Thing is, Mick Gordon didn't know about this. They were like, wait, what do you mean it will have an OST for me? I haven't done anything for that. We didn't sign a contract about this. I don't know anything about this. What? And so they literally reached out to Mick Gordon a month before the actual release. A month before the release, ID Software came up to him and was like, Mick, we need an OST. Now. And Mick was like, okay. Yeah, sure. Yeah, this year, by the way, I learned about it in the media. Yeah, that's also like, Mick Gordon is thankfully a smart guy. And he was like, well, you want me to do this? You have a month time. You better send me a contract, because I'm not doing anything without a written down contract. And apparently ID Software was pretty much like, what do you mean contract? Like, can we not just agree on you doing it and we maybe pay you later? And Mick, who is a smart guy because he has been working in this industry for a while, is like, no? Piece of paper. Signed by you and me. Now. For reasons I still don't understand, he flatly denied me the contract and refused to do anything about the OST, saying that he didn't want to cause a distraction. Didn't they just announce it at E3? The largest gaming show of the year couldn't see the issue of taking pre-orders on the product without an agreement or strategy to actually deliver it. Like, again, it seems like this Marty Stratton is a complete failure in his job, malicious, and frankly speaking, as I said before, he has to go immediately. I want to see a news today or tomorrow that this guy is being fired, because frankly speaking, this is not just word against word. Like, as I said before, he brought receipts. He brought internal emails, messages. All the data he had is presented in this. There, by the way, is another internal email. Like, I don't... And by the way, here's the thing. This is the crazy part. Mick Gordon then sidewayed him and did go directly to Bethesda. And you know what Bethesda's reaction was to this? Awesome, let's do it. We sent you a contract right now, Mick. You get all our support. Let's go. It's like, oh, look at that. Well, which shows again that this is not necessarily an ID Software or Bethesda spiel. This was Marty Stratton, who took this personally or whatever. Like, sometimes I do not understand those manager types who are like egomaniacs, but it is clear that apparently everyone else wanted this to work besides of Marty, who had maybe a problem with Mick. Like, we don't really know what happened here. But yeah. Um, it's but it did go further than that. Apparently, they didn't pay him then. Like it seems like somebody then decided not to pay him on that, and so Bethesda itself was like, there was just a lot of things wrong. Like, I am very pissed. And again, this seems to be another leadership issue. And crazy enough, they apparently contracted another musician, Chad. I don't know his full name here, but they then started with him to create an OST. By the way, an OST which was not up to par. They literally were ripping some songs from the seamless loop files from the game's Wise package, and it was, they basically just took the music which was already in the game, slapped it on a OST, and called it that. And there was another issue they had. They apparently told Mick Gordon and everyone else that good old Chad here was just hired a month before the whole thing happened, because Chad now had to pick up the pieces and had to fix the screw-ups of Mick, which, again, there wasn't any screw-ups, but that's what they said. But as Mick would find out, when he looked at some of the music pieces, he could see in the database of this music piece that Chad has been working on those not since a month before the actual release when they so-called hired him, but since 2019. So he was already on that for over half a year. Which, yeah, there's a difference between a month and 6 months. Especially if you're working on something. So that person didn't even got like put on the whole thing on last minute call, but literally half a month before. He already worked on this before Mick even got his contract. So it's, yeah. So it's just devastating. Like, to see like a hard-working person like Mick Gordon being treated like this, his reputation being thrown into the mud, and just not even getting paid for that. Yeah, again, Marty Stratton. I hope you're getting fired. I really do. And Mr. Mick Gordon is getting paid in full and is getting treated accordingly. But it seems like the community is also up in arms, which is really good. Like, having seen the Doom community going like, what the actual F? Which is a pretty good sign, because that could pressure Bethesda and ID to do something. But yeah, it's kind of devastating, and I'm hoping that Mick Gordon is getting all the things he deserves in a good way. because he's doing excellent music and he's really hardworking. And not just that, like I don't want to know how many gigs he didn't get because of this. How many publishers and developers were like, oh man, have you heard the music of Mick Gordon on Doom? Oh my god, it's amazing. We should get that for our games. But he's lazy. Have you read the official statement from ID? Ooh, he's apparently not good to work with. Ooh. Yeah, no. Let's find somebody else. Like, yeah. It's don't. So this is interesting. Different news. And by the way, one last thing before we end up moving to the next one. I will, of course, keep you posted whenever we are getting like official confirmation by ID Software or something is happening in that regard. Like, I will keep you posted. Next news. This is interesting. A few months ago, Riot Games tried to sue Shanghai-based developer Moontune Technology, who has been accused of ripping off League of Legends. Their mobile game is called Mobile Legends Bang Bang. Yes. And well, they tried to drag them in front of a court, but now on Tuesday, Judge Michael Fitzgerald of the U.S. District Court for the Central District of California granted Moontune's motion to dismiss, and they were like, nope, we are dismissing this claim. Why they are doing this? Because they say that this will probably be better heard in China, because that's where the company is sitting, so you probably want to bring this in front of a Chinese court, which is kind of interesting because this happened before. In 2017, Riot attempted to sue Moontune for the same thing, and the court was like, why are you bringing this in front of us? Like, we are not China? You have to bring this in front of a Chinese judge? Sorry. So why are they not doing this? Well, the thing is just China doesn't care too much when it comes to copying others, like we know that. But there is another huge problem with this. So as you probably know, Riot Games has been now for, I think, nearly a decade owned by Tencent. You know, the Chinese mega corporation. But Moontune has been owned by ByteDance, TikTok's parents' company. And those two mega corporations have basically agreed on not to attack each other too much, because let's just say it's easier for them to just uphold the peace. Like those two companies don't like each other much. Like we know from what we hear out of China that ByteDance and Tencent see themselves very much as competition, and they would love to just smack their faces in if they could. But they're also very careful not to drag like every single issue in front of a court. because then a whole lawsuit war would just ensue between those companies, and a lot of other issues would probably come up. And like they both agreed more or less to leave each other alone as far as they can and not try to hinder each other. They still don't like each other. That much is very clear. But it's more like okay, you don't drag me in front of a court, I don't drag you in front of a court. Can we both agree on that? Yeah, okay. So that's probably the reason why Riot Games is not really doing much here in China either, because Tencent will be like, no, please don't do that. Just don't. Not here in China. What you're doing in the US, that's up to you. But in China, no. Don't ask us for help. So yeah. But as it stands right now, this one was ruled as it's out. So yeah. Oh, this is interesting for everyone who likes to play Call of Duty Warzone. As you know, Call of Duty Warzone 2.0 is coming out next week on Tuesday. And a lot of people were unsure what will happen with the original Warzone. It will not be sunset after all, as Activision has now confirmed. The old game will be renamed to Warzone Caldera to distinguish it from Warzone 2.0. That means the Caldera map will remain, but all the other smaller arenas like Rebirth Island and Fortune's Keep will not return. So what will basically happen with the old Warzone is it will be soiled off into its own experience, and they would just leave it as it is. So you can still play it, but it will basically not get any new content. And it will go offline. Well, I think it already is offline, actually. And Warzone Caldera will remain inaccessible until November 28th. Yeah. Let's be real here. As a PC player, you would just swap over to Warzone 2.0. And why they're doing this is pretty simple. Xbox One and PlayStation 4 will not be able to play Warzone 2.0. Right. Like the old consoles are not allowed for various technical reasons to play Warzone 2.0, but there are still so many people playing on the old consoles that Activision would be pretty stupid to just give that up and would give up the money. So they're just letting this run in the background till there are not enough players anymore, and then they will close it down at some point. But that's pretty much what this is, which makes sense. Again, this is how it goes. Yep. Next one is actually a trailer. Let me see. Can we watch this on YouTube, or do I have to use IGN's stupid website for this? Let me see. No, it's on YouTube. Wonderful. So this is a trailer for The Perceiver. Project The Perceiver. I'm sorry, Project The Perceiver. I have absolutely no clue what to expect here. So this is the exclusive announcement trailer from IGN. Let's have a look. Paper. Who doesn't like paper? Ready. And he's dead. He should have probably had some armor on. See kids, this is why we wear armor.
那就再唱下去吧。到底是人活进了戏里，还是戏本就因人而在？
It's the mask. Hey, some gameplay. Reminds me a bit of Sekiro. I really like the animation, it's very fluid. Like, it looks very good in that regard. Okay, so you can switch between like outfits slash characters. Boss fight.
你来了。戏
The play is
还没
off.
演完吗？
I love his feather
他
cape.
已经灭了。天下易主，救星不存，你还能为何而战？
大唐之命系于4年，人在则唐不灭。
I really like the animation. Like the clash of the blades. Like, that looks amazing.
天下是苍生的天下，梁还是唐？
Dude, stop throwing your knife. It's cheating.
大唐福泽万年，逆贼杀戮无道，如何相提并论？
I had somebody a few days ago in TFT who was accusing me of abusing Bard and farming free IP, and I'm like, dude, what does that even mean? Abusing Bard? What? What? I don't know.
你那戏里的唐，真是你心中所念的唐吗？
Pretty. Also, bird. Oh, so when you defeat like bosses, you can like become them? That's interesting. Huh.
戏仍未终了，而
That's
戏
cool.
中之人早已不止你我。
Oh god. Multiplayer. And that's pretty. Holy shit. I'm kind of getting excited to see what like Chinese developers really can do. Like, especially now with Unreal Engine 5, we see more and more studios just utilizing that. Whoa. Like, this is just crazy. I think that was one of the biggest problems China had for quite some time. That they didn't really have like a good engine. Like a lot of the engines were kind of mediocre. Huh. Well, that looked pretty amazing, not gonna lie. That looked really cool. This is an open world action game, Project the Perceiver. Is there... No. No. There are no more additional information. Alright. Well. That's unfortunate. Yeah, I definitely will keep you posted. That was pretty amazing. Really liked the animations and the fighting, and also like even the backgrounds were super pretty. So I would definitely watch more of this in the future. Yes. But with that said, we are done for today. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this, please don't forget to like. If you're also new to the channel, you want to see more gaming news, trailer reactions, make sure to subscribe to the channel. If you're watching this on my second channel, my gaming news channel, make sure to check out my main channel where we recorded this, which is youtube.com/@ChaosMole is the handle. And we are streaming here also from Monday to Friday, starting at 8 AM ET, that is 1 PM UK time, and 2 PM Central European time. And fair warning, in the next few days there will be a lot of Warhammer 40k Dark Tide on my channel, because that game is coming out soon, and I'm really hyped for that. So, yeah, thank you so much for watching. Hope to see you next time. Stay safe. Bye-bye.